So we're going to go to Juz 11. So make sure to read Juz 11 today. So Juz 11 begins at the 87th verse of Surah At-Tawbah. The book of this Juz contains Surah Yunus as well, and it ends after the opening 5 verses of Surah Hud. There is another shift in themes from Surah At-Tawbah to Surah Yunus. While Surah At-Tawbah was one of the last surahs to be revealed in Medina, Surah Yunus is an early Meccan surah revealed in the 2nd or 3rd year after prophethood. So the focus of the next few sections is primarily on the Meccan revelation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So life is a series of ups and downs. Sometimes we endure difficult situations like the Meccan era. At other times we experience victories like the Battle of Badr. The shifts between Meccan and Madanian surahs in the Quran have a lot of wisdom. One lesson that we can take from this is to avoid complacency. Life is a series of ups and downs. We have times of ease and times of difficulty and trial. As we know, sometimes we experience difficult situations like the Meccan era. At other times we experience victories like Badr, as I mentioned. As life is constantly shifting between these two phases, the order of the Quran reflects the ups and downs of life. Central to this surah is the story of Prophet Yunus alayhi salam. His story is revealed as a reminder to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam not to give up and abandon his people. Prophet Yunus alayhi salam left his people but eventually returned and they embraced Islam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was forced out by his people many years after this surah was revealed, but also eventually returned and saw his people embrace Islam. So the next surah is named after Prophet Hud alayhi salam, and his story contrasts with that of Prophet Yunus. While the people of Yunus alayhi salam eventually embraced Islam, the people of Hud were stubborn and were eventually destroyed. The enemies of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Mecca fall in both groups. Some were stubborn and died upon disbelief, as we know Abu Lahab and Abu Jahl. Yet others like Suhail ibn Amr and Abu Sufyan eventually softened, repented and embraced Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with all of them. There are elements of the story of both of these prophets' stories in the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the final messenger. So the core theme that flows throughout this surah is the reactions of various types of people to the message of the prophets. Some embrace it and some reject it. Those who follow the messenger will attain eternal bliss, whilst those who reject his message will be responsible for making this choice, and their final destination will be determined by that. For many, it is their love of this world that holds them back from embracing the truth. Those who do not hope to meet us and are not content with the worldly life and are at ease with it, and those who pay no heed to our signs. These, their dwelling is the fire, and account for what they used to do. As for those who believe and do good deeds, their Lord guides them in their faith. Rivers will flow beneath them in the gardens of bliss. In the chapter 10, verse 7 to 10, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those who enter Jannah, their call therein is glory to you, our God, and the greeting therein is peace, and the last of their call is praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds. So these verses offer us the two paths. Allah is the most merciful, as we know from his beautiful names and attributes, but has the right to punish whomever he wills. To earn eternal paradise, we must embrace the message of the prophets, and we must submit to our Creator completely. Any other path leads to eternal damnation instead. So when you read this truth, you'll be able to contemplate over this. I'll leave you here. Fi amanillah wa sallallahu wa baraka ala nabina Muhammad. Astaghfirullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.